why could Ralph Uwazurike come forward to testify, you know, without concrete evidence? Because remember that they are going to court tomorrow and they will cross-examine him.
Okay, a certain channel on YouTube, Emmanuel Oremijus, has come out to say that Wazurik was the one that testified. We don't know whether it's in person he's talking about or he sent somebody, you know, to testify against Nnamdi Kanu. But he said Wazurik was the person that testified against Nnamdi Kanu. What's your take as regards this? And I will show you a proof of what he was saying.
I know. I learned about it. I read it on social media. Okay. That someone was accusing Uwazurike Ralph to have been the man behind the mask. I mean the mask witnesses that actually come forward in the court to testify against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The voice they actually suspected Uwazurike to be the person. But my point is that I'm coming from another angle. If Uwazurike could be the testifier, a witness to the federal government of Nigeria, what could be his gain? And what was his gain? So that's why I'm not in totality supporting that belief or school of thought that Uwazurike testified against Nnamdi Kanu in the court. I have many reasons here. If he testified against Nnamdi Kanu, I don't think an Igbo man could be that moronic. Because why? The whole testimony and the evidences that came forward, there was no incriminating material, both verbal and physical things. Okay, the materials discovered at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's hotel room when he was arrested in 2015, the whole materials were of what? Gadgets that are meant for laptop, microphone, iPhone, laptop from Apple, Motorola, Nokia, Biro, and so on and so forth. Then you find out that the man is working as a newscaster, a radio what? Operator. I don't know what to understand. So none of the materials was incriminating. No arms. It wasn't incriminating. It cannot nail anybody. So now I begin to ask myself, why could Ralph Uwazurike come forward to testify, without concrete evidence? Because remember that they are going to court tomorrow and they will cross-examine him, cross-examine the evidence, cross-examine the materials in the court. So if you come to testify against somebody, you make sure you come with fact, very heavy fact that could nail the accused person. But this one, the kind of facts, the kind of evidence he come up with is just childish evidence, an evidence that could not even hold. Because the court were asking, have you televised these materials? No. Have you televised or come up with any camera or video of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in that studio? No. What is it that you are saying? And you come under a mask, a masquerade. A masquerade was testifying against human being. Don't you think that something there? A masquerade. If not that you are telling lies, why masking up your face? Would have come up like a human being, eyeball to eyeball, and testify against the accused. But this one, he was testifying behind the mask. And the question now across Nigeria, across Biafran land is, who are the men, testifiers behind the mask? Could it be that Nnamdi Kanu's kinsmen, the Igbos, were the men behind the mask? So that's why it becomes suspicious when some person said, accuse the Ralph Uwazurike. But you see that accusation, yet unsubstantiated it is. Because nobody has actually seen him as Uwazurike. It was a masquerade. So what we are trying to say is that
was so confident.
Very, very confident.
He was so confident that it was Wazurik.
That it was Wazurik, yes. I read about it. I read it on social media. I listened to already Major Abiwotin Emmanuel, giving his own broadcast opinion that it might be Wazurik, after Wazurik. So that you cannot actually strike out that accusation. No. There are many ways to at least study it to find out if Emmanuel is actually saying the truth. But if you ask me, I will tell you that being the fact that the masquerade, is not showing his face, is an act of, let me say, shame. It's an act of what? Cowardice. It's an act of sadism. It's an act of what? Telling us lies indirectly. Because if you are saying the truth, The truth is the only remedy that the conscience of man has. You don't fear any accusation. Open your face. But this one now, the testifier is afraid of Nnamdi Kanu. The testifier is afraid of the Igbos. We are not even talking about IPOB here. Every Igbo man is an IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra. That's whom we are. So you that is covering your face, you have something hidden. If not something not bugging your mind, or if you're not hiding something from us, you would have come out unmasked while you are testifying. So what I see is that Nnamdi Kanu actually went to the court and by his own statement and presentation, legally and otherwise, Nnamdi Kanu dazzled the presiding chief judge, Justice James Omotosho, and his led legal counsel. They began to feel emotional that James Omotosho started applauding Nnamdi Kanu as the chief justice was clapping. The entire court, I don't understand, attendance began to applaud. They started applauding and clapping for Nnamdi Kanu. People outside the court started applauding, clapping hands, meaning that the man was accused of nothing. He did not commit any offense. When a man is broadcasting about his country for the reasons of marginalization, suppression, oppression, persecution, and exploitation, I think that man is right, which was why Nnamdi Kanu came out one eyeball to eyeball with Justice James Omotosho. Are you from Biafra? James said he's not from Biafra. Nnamdi Kanu said, but I'm a Biafra. I have right to agitate Biafra, and I will be agitating for Biafra till tomorrow.
It's in the UN law.
It's in the UN law. I did not violate any law. And you know that anytime he, goes to court, they televise it, the whole world is watching it live on social media. So the whole world, right that away, they are listening to what Nnamdi Kanu was actually, presenting, his presentation in the court 2 days ago. The whole world, everybody, they were listening. So that this man is this innocent, this man is this bright, this man can at least express himself this way. So I see every court that he goes as a stepping stone towards Biafra liberation. This last court actually has given Biafra 92% to exit Nigeria because nothing is wrong. The man you accused become a lecturer in the court room, started educating and lecturing the legal counsel, both his own and Nigerian legal counsel as well. So the man is just being oppressed, disturbed, and gagged. They are gagging him and the Kanu for nothing. He has not committed any crime. Kanu is free. And I tell you that he has gotten his freedom.
Okay, we saw Aledge attested to the fact that in a phone conversation with Uwazurike, he said Wazurik blasted the federal government. He said they are still holding Kanu because he's an Igbo man. Wazurik just said it earlier hours of this morning. He said because Nnamdi Kanu is an Igbo man, that's why Tinubu and the Nigerian government are still holding him. Even so, I said, Nnamdi Kanu is Buhari's personal, he offended, according to, so when they say offended Buhari, that doesn't see why Nnamdi Kanu be staying more than 1 day when Tinubu assumed office. Is it correct? What
Omo said is right. What Wazurik said is 100% right. The only perceived enemy Nnamdi Kanu had in the past, I mean from 2023 back to 2015, is Muhammad Buhari and his Fulani Janjaweed's accomplice within the administration of Buhari. But what shocked humanity and puzzled the whole Nigeria is that we are all Southerners. We are all Southerners. We do our business in Lagos as Igbo men, which was why we actually thought that the first day Tinubu will resume office will be the victorious day for Nnamdi Kanu to, to exit DSS incarceration. But alas, to everybody, immediately Tinubu take over the office of authority at Aso Rock, he only released his brother Sunday Igboho, leaving the Igbo man there, which is Nnamdi Kanu, and that has actually made the Yoruba man the worst enemy of Igbo man. No matter what you do for Yoruba man will not like you as an Igbo man. Igbo man lives in Lagos, pay their house rent, pay for chop, pay tax. Igbo man is not owing anybody. Still, Yoruba man has never seen anything good in Igbo man. Yoruba man should have at least the first thing and allow Nnamdi Kanu to go, instead of allowing only his brother to go. This has made him the worst enemy of the Igbos, which I always, used to use this my slogan. Igbophobia is the reason why Tinubu could not allow Nnamdi Kanu to go. Igbophobia, Igboist, Igbotic hating, hate, abhorrence is the reason why Tinubu allowed Nnamdi Kanu to be rotting in jail. While Igbo, when they committed the same offense, has gone. Yoruba hate Igbo. We don't hide it. Why could we be jealous of Igbo man? Igbo man wake up in the morning and go his business. If you wake up in the morning and go your own business, you will make money. See, money is here, and na God they do them. They are all hate Igbo. They are very jealous. That's why they allow Nnamdi Kanu to be suffering there. And the more you hate Igbo, the more money Igbo man make. Igbo man has been making money because God blesses Igbo man. It is over enraging and infuriating that Nnamdi Kanu is still in, and Tinubu is from southern Nigeria. It is over enraging, it is over infuriating that Nnamdi Kanu is still there, and Nigerian president is from southern Nigeria, where Nnamdi Kanu comes from. Oga, Igbo hate, Igbophobia is the reason why Tinubu does not want to release Nnamdi Kanu. Igbophobia is an anti-Igbo ideology and belief that actually engendered or conditioned Tinubu not to let go of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
Yeah. Now I know that most of you are new. Welcome to this very freedom. Most of you are new. Who is Uwazurike? Uwazurike is the man that kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu many times. One of which Uwazurike single-handedly locked Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in DSS. Why? Uwazurike signed an agreement with Nigerian government to be eating Biafra people mugu. In 2006, ending of 2006, subsequently he was released 2007, but under Obasanjo regime, he signed an agreement to surrender Biafra. In his later confession, he confessed that he had no other option since they brought all his commanders to him in DSS. That Andy Oba, who was a co-in-law to Obasanjo as at the time, was the one who masterminded everything. He went and gathered all his commanders and brought them to Abuja. And Andy Oba was the person who made it very difficult for him to say no to Obasanjo. Uwazurike did all of this confession. So why did Uwazurike stone Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Why did he gather women to urinate on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? The reason why Uwazurike gathered women to urinate on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was because as at the time that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was accusing Uwazurike of sabotaging, Uwazurike was already a saboteur. Like he later confessed that in 2007, and in 2006, that Andy Oba gathered all his commanders, brought them to DSS dungeon, and Andy Oba made it very difficult for him to say no to Obasanjo. This was Uwazurike's confession. Had it been that I see that video, I would have let you see Uwazurike's confession. But in the course of this video, if I see it, I will let you to watch. And if I did not see it, it's none of my problem. Now let us go, please. Uwazurike said, after his confession, that Andy Oba brought all his commanders, which made him to sign under Obasanjo. What is it that he signed? He signed never to go after Biafra, never to pursue Biafra. He signed never to realize Biafra. He signed that no Yaneri Biafra people mugu, because he begged them, if he surrender, that they are going to kill him, that they are going to stone him. So the only thing he asked Obasanjo is that he will be doing Biafra, doing the more you look, the less you see. Obasanjo, he signed under Obasanjo. When he was released 2007, Uwazurike was telling Biafra people that he have gone to Onga. OMPO, I mean to say. OMPO. OMPO is the Association of Unrecognized Nation. Why is it that a man who later confessed that he signed an agreement with Obasanjo against Biafra, because he saw all his commanders that Andioba brought. Why is that man in Ompu and was not arrested? Why is it that Uwazurike used Nigerian security escort and was not arrested? Why is it that Uwazurike remained in Nigeria and have not been arrested? Because that was what he signed under Obasanjo from his own confession. From his own confession. Why I am going deep is because of the people saying, oh no, chief cannot betray. Chief cannot betray. You are carrying fake news. That is the reason why I knew that a lot of people came newly in this very freedom. But let us go and take one after the other. Uwazurike arrested Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Between 2008 to 2009, he imprisoned Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, threw Mazi Nnamdi Kanu inside prison. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu wanted to do wedding, that was, let me be specific here. When he wanted to marry Uchechi, the Judas now, the one now Akpabio na atako ha na munye our late Ikemba, Bianco no. The one Akpabio na atako, I told you people na Akpabio na ataha. Now you see the evidence that Akpabio with Bianca Ono was seen outside the country and Akpabio was focusing on Bianca. Two of them will lodge. Two of them will lodge. This is what they do, using me and you to catch fame. Bianca is now a minister in a government that hated the Igbo people, in a government that is against Igbo people. But that is not where I'm going against. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu wanted to marry Uchechi, Uwazurike arrested Mazi Nnamdi Kanu before the marriage of Uchechi, locked him up. It was Eze and Lolo that went to beg in DSS for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stayed in DSS almost a year, being locked up by Uwazurike. Then, that was before the marriage. Then when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu wanted to do marriage for Uchechi, he was arrested by Uwazurike scouts. They beat him up and urinated on him. Are you getting the point? That is where to arrive on who will testify against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Now, when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was arrested in 2015, Uwazurike was jubilating. 2015, Uwazurike was jubilating, thinking that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's dream was going to cut short. He called him all manner of names. He called him criminal. He called him tout. When he was released in 2017 and subsequently surfaced in Rome and later surfaced in Israel, where all of us know and see him, Uwazurike started attacking him. Uwazurike called him all sorts of names. Uwazurike called him thief. Uwazurike vowed that he will bring him to book. He said, onye buru mmadụ ụzọ shibe mkpọmkpọ ite na-ebu ya ụzọ enwe mkpọmkpọ eku na mkpọmkpọ ọkụ. Na-ebu ya ụzọ enwe mkpọmkpọ eku na mkpọmkpọ ọkụ. Then, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, while broadcasting, said that Uwazurike was bound to testify against him. In the release, in his formal release, that the witnesses that they said that they will bring against him, Uwazurike is there. Most of you doesn't know. That is the reason why, hey, it is not possible. Why are you bringing enmity to people? Oh, Uwazurike was calling for the release. Most of you came newly. I told you people, I'm not in struggle to massage your ego. I'm not in this struggle to massage your stupidity. I am in this struggle for truthfulness and in all honesty. I care not. I said nobody. I am in this very struggle of Biafra. Now, after Uwazurike called him all sorts of names, called him a criminal and all of this, During the launching of Eastern Security Network, Uwazurike claimed that Eastern Security Network, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu sent Eastern Security Network to his house to assassinate him, but he disappeared. He said he disappeared, whereas nothing as such. Nothing as such. If we want to get Uwazurike, we will circle his house. Disappear. If you know men on the ground then, disappearing was something that anyone can get. Yes, because it goes to a point that there is no option. It is disappearance. We did it mass, in mass. Go and ask, in mass. So disappearing is not, when you hear disappearing, if you have never disappeared before, you will say, hey, disappearing was done in mass. I belong to the Dragon Squad then. The Dragon Squad did it in mass. Too many. Lion Squad then, they did it in mass. Everybody be Kukuna Lion Squad. So nobody that, unless you did not pay your money to go for blessing or to go for the prayer. So disappearance was not a money, was not a big deal. But Uwazurike claimed to the entities that doesn't know what disappearance is all about. Oh, I disappeared. So if we really want to get Uwazurike, then we know how to disappear. We know the medicines for the disappearance. He couldn't have disappeared. I maybe the disappearance before now. But he came to lie to people. Oh, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu sent people to him. He disappeared. Everybody, hey, oh, they were too much. Hey, they were too much. I was looking at this one and say, oh yeah. So this man is a local mugu, a local 419er. And people then, we are looking at him, clapping for him. Hey, they were too much. It got disappearance that everybody was disappearing anyhow. Disappearance that everybody was disappearing anyhow. As at then, when the struggle tarado, only over a flat, 10,000. On 10,000, pay your money. Ejuwega, the prayer in my own branch, 10,000. So the money was not much. Because when you hear this, though the disappearance cost a lot, it cost a lot, but based on Bombokri, 10,000. 10,000, unless you did not pay your 10,000, you will not disappear. 10,000, you disappear. But if you want to do it individually, it costs a lot. It costs almost $1 million plus. But how it was due to the struggle of a thing, it was downed by those doing it because it is their avenue of helping the struggle. It was 10-10. And Wazurik came on social media. Oh, I disappeared. I was looking at him. So after this thing, he bound that he will get Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to book. That Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will be kidnapped. That Mazen, he bound. There is nothing that he did not say. At a time, he said that he will definitely go and present to the authorities the atrocities of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. So Uwazurike did not hide it. He called all of us criminals. Where did Uwazurike do U-turn? Because most of you, Uwazurike na boy abaro you. Listen, let me reiterate. The people to bear witness against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Uche Mefo, Udele, speak. Obontunu Ruago, Ogu, Ejiofo, Ifani Ejiofo, Uche Echi, that is, Nkesi na yobu munye, Delilah, Nkesi, oh, my husband did not commit any atrocity, about that game. The game na about me. Uche Echi is inside. Benjamin Mmadụ Yoshi is there. Chinasa Nwabingo, Chinasa Nwoshi is there. In fact, Chinasa Nwoshi is the number one. The one going on Radio Biafra saying, oh, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, he's there. He's in the lineup of those to testify against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Benjamin Mmadụbugwu is there in the lineup of those to testify against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. So don't say that I don't know or I don't know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying. All of them, all their names are there. All their names are there. And what happened? What happened after that? I am a man religious, known as the Great Seer or the Sea of the Seer. What happened after that? Where is the turning point? You remember when the message came to me that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, we should pray for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, not knowing during the time that all of us are reading Psalm. Because most of these people saying, oh, you are bringing fake news, do not know the story. They don't know the history. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said, Uwazurike is planning evil. Uwazurike is the bad evil. It is there on Radio Biafra. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu made the exposition by himself, saying the connection. But what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu did not know is that even Chena Samoshi and the Uchechi is there. Uchechi is the biggest sabotage. One of the biggest sabotage. The agreement was to buy Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and never allow him to leave. Go and check what they are doing. The agreement that they have is to buy Mazen Nnamdi Kanu because all of them are committed. If they allow Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, he is going to say all of their names. Their own agreement is to buy him. Uchechi is there. Uchemefo is there. Opontunu Uduagu is there. Chena Samoshi is there. All of them. Many of them. Both in the Clermont and have a commander. All of them are there. Ejiofor's name is inside. Ejiofor, in fact, Ejiofor was the eyes of them. So let us move on. Oh, you are carrying fake news. You are carrying fake news. I know that your propaganda lies and deceit doesn't do anything. I am a man religious. Dike home chana mo. Ipokwa nessa 5 years. Because some of you follow Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Oh, Mazen monumental. Ejidene unchefu all the teachings and everything. And those who wanted to bear witness against him, all of you have forgotten. Just because most of them now are using idea, oh, release him. Where did Uwazurike turn? Uwazurike turned in 2021 after the kidnapping of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. We did not know that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu had been kidnapped. They were preparing to bring him back to Nigeria when Uwazurike did a video. He came out to do a video saying, oh, that he couldn't sleep. He think all through the night that now he was against IPOB for being going for Biafra in a violent way. That was what he said, in a violent way. That he have think over it, that since he could not get Biafra in non-violence, but that was a lie. Uwazurike did not go non-violence. Uwazurike, we fought with arms during Uwazurike time to force the handwork of the clock. In fact, most of the Masop people were shifted to the creek to aid the militants in the creek there with the help of Asari Doku boss commanders. So I know all of those things. I'm bringing it to the public now. Oh, come on, oh no, it is a lie, it is a lie. I was commander under Uwazurike. I was a junior commander under Wazurik. So he cannot lie or bring all these kind of garbages that he brings on social media to tell people. I was child commander under Wazurik. That was my bush name then. Under Wazurik. Are you getting it? So reserve this particular name. Uwazurike, a dangerous liar, made a U-turn in 2021 when he came out to do that video. During this time, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was nowhere to be found. He said that he had fought non-violently, but now he realized that he cannot achieve it. So those that wants to get it by violence, that he is not going to be a stumbling block to them. Now, ask yourself,